Hi, welcome to Tarot Combos, where we draw two cards, this time from our, what's this called? Spirit Song Tarot, and see what energies are here with us today. And thank you for being here on this, what is it? Monday, March 23rd, although this should have been yesterday's reading. Just keep that in mind if dates matter to you. Okay. We have the Queen of Crystals, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and challenged by the Magician. The Magician. So I love this artwork. If you can see, although it's hard to see on camera, there's like subtle pastel-y coloring, kind of. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, and the words, I'll say the words here, although, I don't really use the words so much, but if it means something to you, I want to give, share them. It says comfort and prosperity, and that would be challenged by the Magician, which says willpower and creation. There is some, I think, like standard tarot meanings there that seem like relevant, but I don't always read it that way. So the Queen of Pentacles feels like this, it's very grounded energy, like the ability to show up every day and nurture something, like to care for something deeply in a very, like taking care of something so that it can grow into something that to its fullest expression. Meaning I'm not going to neglect it for a period of time and come back and expect it to still be okay. Like this, it's an energy of showing up and caring for something through its life cycle, through its growth cycle. Could be a project, could be a person. Sometimes she's called the mother of tarot for that reason. At least I've heard that on occasion. And then, so that's an energy of like, are we being called to show up every day, to put forth effort in a direction that we care about, into something we care about seeing grow in the world? Passion project could be something, but the way we show up is a very grounded, practical, daily practice. It's like becomes a part of us, like it's not just something we care about once in a while. Like fire wand energy might just be like, bah, I'm so passionate about it. And then I'm like, oh, take some time off. And then, bah, this is like pretty, I almost said boring, pretty boring energy, but it's not. It's very loving, very full of care, energy. And so the Magician is in the challenge position. So it says willpower and creation. A lot of people say manifestation, but it's really about how are we anchoring in like what we want to see in the world into our lived experience. So to me, the similarities are pretty neat. I don't think I've had this combo before in maybe any reading. So that to me, even in itself, is fascinating because it's the two ways of how we are bringing something to fruition. One way is like, I will it to be so, and it's through my willpower. Like I'm going to like, through sheer willpower, I will make it happen. And sometimes that shows up as like efforting, but in a very like all powerful belief kind of way, I'm gonna do it. And then the Queen of Pentacles, her way of manifesting is to like show up and like feed something every day with care. It's not just one big like effort exerted. It's like every day a little bit, just very calm, peaceful energy in some ways, not always. So how does the Magician energy come in and challenge the Queen of Pentacles energy? How does the willpower that we put into something come in and challenge our ability to show up in a very consistent way? So it almost feels like big effort, big manifestation energy, big desire, big like just exertion of my will. That feels like very big, forceful, passionate, but like just like boom kind of energy versus Queen of Pentacles. It's like every day, man, I'm here. So how does that challenge the steadiness? Do you feel like in some way in your life are you currently exerting that big willpower and it's just still inching forward, or maybe feels like it's still just not growing, whatever you're putting your effort into, but it just doesn't feel like the outcome matches the input of effort, you know what I mean? Of your will to see it succeed. Is there a mismatch? Be like, what is being called for? Is it the big moment, the big willpower, or is it the steady? Well, since the Queen of Pentacles is in the upright, I would say what's being called for in this particular scenario for some of us is like, let's show up every day. Consistency is everything, right? To show up every day and knowing that it will amount to something. Like when we show up every day, we know it will amount to something. Something. But when we have these big oomph moments, we hope with all our might the bigness of the outcome will match the oomph I'm putting in, and then I don't have to show up anymore. It's just like sometimes that's required, but how is that, since it's in the challenge position, how is that not being called for anymore right now? At least right now in your life, in your specific scenario. Are you being called into a time of more consistency? Now, because it's the Queen of Pentacles, this consistency shows up in our lived daily life, not just in our hopes and dreams or like our emotional love-centered life, but in our practical life. Is it showing up in work or family situations day by day, putting in a little bit of effort every day to basically this card says, I'm here, I'm showing up. Whatever's needed of me, I'm here, and you're going to see me put forth consistent effort. It may not be big, explosive, exciting energy, but I'm showing up. And that doesn't always sound so exciting, does it? When it's maybe something like something we really care about, like a big project, or like something we were building in the world. I don't know. But what is it for you where you've been a little bit like all in and then distracted and then all in and distracted, or this Magician, the thing that's kind of their superpower too, or kind of one of their strengths, is that they have all the tools, and that their strength is knowing when to use which tool at the right time. So if it's in the challenge position, are you maybe just using the wrong skill set for what you're trying to achieve? Are you drawing on the strengths that really complement what you're working on, or are you trying to shoehorn in like one of your other strengths that isn't going to help in this particular situation? So that's the other thing to consider. Oh God, I haven't gotten any specifics yet, but I think I have so many examples of both of these options, like showing up in my life. Consistency's been hard for me. It's been a challenge, I will admit. And like, I'm working on that every day. So I guess it's working because I'm working on it every day by like making sure I have like prioritizing my physical health, prioritizing my mental health. And that means I work on these things a little bit every day. And I do see positive impacts. I feel stronger. I feel more at peace. There are positive outcomes to showing up every day for me, because it's the thing I've been avoiding most of my life. Sometimes if you're the one that shows up every day, you might be being asked to like go big, make a very like dramatic show of effort in something. It's kind of like when you think about a relationship maybe that's gone a little dormant, a little stale, and somebody's just dying for a big romantic gesture that's so surprising, you know? So it's like, usually, if we've been all kind of one way, sometimes to bring us back to balance, we need the opposite energy. So, is this flipped for you a little bit in some way? For me, I definitely feel it the way it was drawn. And then with the, what was I saying before? Where it's like the tool mismatch. I was trying to find a good example for that because I feel like like me, so I'll say we, but I'm talking about myself. I tend to fall back on what comes easy to me in terms of like my natural skill sets, like the soft skills, meaning like being able to relate with people. And sometimes that, like being able to empathize and really see from people's points of view, I'm sure you're like that as well. It's sometimes for me, it feels like it's sometimes a drawback to making big impacts, inroads with people, or helping them affect real change in their lives. If I'm just like, yeah, man, I totally see what you're talking about. I feel that way too. You know, it's like, where's the fire being lit? Where's the choices being presented? We just sort of stay in like, yeah, me too, man. You know? So that's where I might see that showing up in my life, is because, yeah, I've had a lot of life experiences by now where I feel like I empathize and can connect with a lot of people in a lot of different ways, or at least have a lot of different topics to talk about, except sports. So I just have to say, this morning I was sitting in the sauna at the gym, and this time I had started to go into a period of bringing my headphones in and like not like trying to drown out the sports talk by the old timer regulars of the sauna, because I would just sit there and I couldn't contribute because I don't care for sports. You know, I love like being active, but like watching sports on a TV and following a whole season of like basketball, sorry, that's just not for me. Other things are for me. I'm glad that's for you because they get a lot of enjoyment out of it, but I just can't participate. So I'm like, well, I'll just use this time to like plug up my ears and listen to a podcast or something. Well, today I didn't take my headphones in because I thought I will be social today. I will try to fit in. Meaning I will just try not to like drown out people today in case something, you know, so in case it'll allow interesting conversation to happen. Well, as soon as I get in there, I was the newcomer to the two of the main people who always talk sports. Well, they were already deep in, so I was like, man, I should have brought my headphones. So, and then when I left before them because I'm a wimp when it comes to sauna. I'm working up my tolerance, but I'm always like the shortest one in there. And so it's like, have a good day, guys. And one of them said, did we bore you with the sports talk? And I just turned, I was just laughing. I just went, sports. Like, made the weirdest face, weirdest sound out of my mouth, gesture, and then just left. Like, that's how I feel about it. I have nothing to contribute other than sports. So anyway, sorry for the sidetrack, but I did try to be social today, but whatever, I'm working on it. So where do you feel like this shows up in your life? Either with like what kind of energy is being called for you right now? Consistency or explosive? Or is it more like, what tool am I using here? What are my natural skills I fall back on because it's easy for me, versus like, which tool is really needed for this situation? Which skill set is really needed? You know, is it just like, hey, yeah, me too? Or is it like, here's my opinion that I think would really help you right now? You know, that's just a silly example, but yeah, let me know. Bye.